Hello, Chelsea here. Welcome to a Hatha Yoga class that can be used as a daily practice, very well balanced. Okay, so we're going to start off in child's pose to connect with our breath. So either with the knees wide, big toes together, or you can have the knees underneath the hips and the shins parallel to one another, sitting back onto your heels and reaching the arms forward. You can keep your arms here, or you can bend through the elbows and bring the palms together at the back of the head, or you can bring your arms alongside your shins. So finding the variation that feels good for you. And then as you breathe in, breathe into the belly, feel it expand, maybe pressing up against your thighs or in between your legs. As you exhale, feel yourself surrender to gravity. Making your breaths long and slow and smooth. Your knees are closer together, maybe noticing some resistance as you breathe in, and your belly's pressing up against your thighs, trying to make room to be able to fill the lungs up. And then taking a big, deep breath in, and then at the top, hold for a second. And then let it go. And again, in through the nose, all the way to the top. Hold. Exhale out the mouth, completely relax. One more. Big breath in through the nose. Hold. Exhale out the mouth, relax. And returning to your normal breath. One more. Big deep breath in here. Full exhale. And then unbending the elbows if your hand is in prayer behind the head. Slowly coming up into a tabletop position. Hands underneath the shoulders and knees underneath the hips. Fingertips spread wide, coming into some cat-cow curls. Inhale into cow belly as you extend the spine, lift the sits bone, lift the gaze. Exhale, angry kitty, pressing out the air, pressing through the fingertips, flexing through the spine, looking at your belly button, tucking the tailbone. Inhale, angry kitty, or cow belly. Exhale, angry kitty. Follow with your own breath. Try and keep your breaths long, slow, and smooth. One more each way. Inhale through neutral. Coming into lateral cat. So as you inhale, lengthen the spine in this neutral position. Exhale, look over to your right hip as you shift the hip to the right and bend your spine into a C shape laterally. Inhale, coming back through center. Imagine you're opening up in between the vertebrae, lengthening the spine. Exhale, look over to the left hip and shift the left hip over to the left hand side, making a C shape on this side. Inhale, back through center. 2 more on each side. And then when that's complete, coming to neutral spine, coming into tricky bird. We're gonna reach the left arm out at shoulder height. Reach the fingers forward and then pull the shoulder down into the shoulder socket. Engage the core, pull the belly button in and up, staying here if it feels comfortable. Or if you wanna go further, reaching the right foot back. Pointing the toes or flexing the ankles, so you're pushing the heel back. Choose what feels good for you, keeping your leg up at hip height and not opening up the pelvis, but keeping it neutral. Fingertips spread wide on the right hand, and if you have any wrist issues, you can come up into a fist. Drag the hand or the fist towards the left knee and the left knee towards the hand or the fist on the right hand side. Engage the core more. Trying to reach the left fingertips away with the shoulder hugged in and reaching the right leg back. A long line of energy here. Stay here, coming into some crunches. Inhale, length. Exhale, draw the left elbow and the right knee together to touch. Inhale, length, coming back up at shoulder height for the hands and foot. Exhale, draw the knee and the elbow together to touch. As you're exhaling, inhale, length. One more. Inhale, length. And then relax down into tabletop, shift the hips side to side. And then coming into it on the other side, we're going to plant the left hand down, fingertips spread wide or up onto your fist, whichever feels better. Reaching the right arm out at shoulder height and then pulling the right shoulder down into the socket. Engaging the core here, staying here, neck neutral, looking down at the mat, or if you want to go further, reaching the left foot back or heel back at hip height. Drag the left hand or fist towards the knee and the knee towards the hand to engage the core further. And as you're reaching the right hand away, pull that shoulder blade down the back. Staying here or coming into some crunches. Inhale, length. Exhale, draw the right elbow, left knee together to touch. Inhale, length. Exhale, touch. Inhale, length. Exhale, touch. Inhale, length. One more. Exhale, touch. Inhale, length. Exhale, exhale to lower into tabletop. Shift the hips side to side. And then fingertips spread wide. Tuck the toes up into downward facing dog. Alternately lifting and lowering the heels, walking out the dog, relaxing the shoulders down the back. Sits bones up towards the ceiling. Reach the chest towards the thighs. Big breaths. And then slowing the walking, having as much of a bend in your knees as you need to, more length, more emphasis on the length in the spine. And then relaxing the heels down towards the earth. Relaxing the shoulders down the back. Big breaths. One more breath here. Inhale, right leg up into three-legged dog, reaching those toes up into the corner where the wall meets the ceiling behind you. Big breath in. Exhale, draw that right knee in underneath the chest, and we're going to step it in between the hands, coming into a low lunge, lowering the left knee back down onto the mat, and then pulling the right hip back, squeezing the left glute in your low lunge here. You can stay here with your hands planted. If you want to go a little bit further, you can come up onto your right knee. And then if you want to come a little bit further, you can reach your arms forward and up, looking up towards the ceiling, relaxing the shoulders down the back. And then if you want to engage the lower body more, you can tuck the left toe and extend the left leg, lifting the knee off the ground, engaging the quad, reaching the heel back, finding your variation. Taking 3 big breaths here. And then lowering the hands down to the mat, framing the front foot if your hands are lifted, lowering the back knee, untucking the toe if your knee is lifted. We're going to take dragon pose. We're going to heel toe the right foot out to the side and out at a 45-degree angle. And then bringing your hands underneath your shoulders. You're going to drop into the hips a little bit more here. You can stay here. If you have the range of motion, you can come down onto your forearms, interlace your hands together. Taking 5 big breaths wherever you are. And then coming up onto your hands, if you're on your forearms, we're going to tuck the left toe underneath, extend the left knee, and then we're going to sweep the right foot back and up into a 3-legged dog. And then lower down, downward facing dog, alternately lifting and lowering the heels, walk it out. And then reaching the left foot up into 3-legged dog. Reach it away from you, up into that corner where the wall meets the ceiling. Keeping the pelvis neutral, shoulders relaxed. Big breath here. One more breath. Inhale to reach. Exhale to draw that left knee underneath. Step it through between the hands, lowering the back knee down into your low lunge, pulling the left hip back, squeezing the right glute, and then staying low here, coming up onto the left knee. If you want to go further, reaching the arms forward and up, looking forward or up at the ceiling, shoulders relax down the back, and then keeping the back knee lowered, or if you want to go further into it, tucking the right toes, extending the right knee, reaching the right heel back. Make sure you're pulling the left hip back, right hip forward. 3 big breaths wherever you are. And then lowering your hands to bring your front foot, if they aren't there already, lowering the back knee and tapping the toes, and then heel toeing the left foot out to the side and turned out at a 45-degree angle. Hands underneath your shoulders, staying here, or if you have it in your range of motion, lowering down onto your elbows, your forearms, interlacing the hands, and taking 5 big breaths here. Let your left knee flop out to the side. And then coming up onto your hands if your forearm are down on your forearms. And then tucking the right toe, extending the right knee, and then reaching the left leg back and up, 3-legged dog. And lower down into downward facing dog. Alternately lift and lower the heels if you would like here. Relax the shoulders down, slowing the walking. Reach the chest towards the thighs. Bend in your knees as much as you need to. Relax the heels down towards the earth. 5 big breaths here. And when that's complete, slowly walking your feet up towards your hands, very slowly and intentionally. And then standing forward fold, feet parallel to one another, hip width distance apart, letting your upper body cascade down, lifting the sits bones up towards the ceiling. Have a bend in your knees if you need to, at least a slight one. Pull the belly button in and up, letting your arms dangle or hanging onto opposite elbows. Maybe rocking side to side a little bit, feeling the tension down the posterior chain of the body. You can stay here, or you can interlace your hands behind your back and lift the hands up and overhead, stretching out through the pecs. One more breath here. pointing your hands if they're laced. We're going to heel toe our feet out to the long edges of the mat and out at a 45-degree angle, and come feet out at a 45-degree angle, and then coming down into a squat pose or garland pose. Bringing the palms together at heart center and pressing the knees away with the elbows, lifting through the sternum and the crown of the head. And you might find that your heels don't reach here, and that's okay. If you can heel toe out a little bit more, you might get a little bit more range. Taking 5 big breaths here. Complete, coming down onto your seat, feet on the mat, knees bent, and then slowly rolling down onto your back, one vertebrae at a time. And then when you're down, bringing your knees into your chest, interlacing the fingers across the shins and rocking side to side. Massaging the low back. And then slowing the rocking, tucking your chin, tucking the shoulders down under the back, arms alongside the body, and then lift the legs up towards the ceiling. And then point and flex the toes. And then rotate the ankles in one direction. And then the other. And then point the toes and hold. Extend the knees as much as feels comfortable, engaging the quads. Feeling the pull on the tops of the feet and maybe into the fronts of the shins. Big breaths here. One more breath. And then coming into figure 4, we're going to bring the right foot or right ankle on just below the left knee. Let the left knee bend and the foot fall down. And then right toes towards the shin and relaxing the knee away as you interlace the fingers behind the left thigh and draw the left knee in towards the chest. The right knee is rotating away. Chin tucked to lengthen through the back of the neck. Big breaths into where you feel the stretch. As you breathe out, feel yourself deepen and relax. Two more breaths here. And then unlacing the hands, letting the left foot float down to the ground, and then bringing the right foot down, and then crossing the left ankle over the right knee. And draw the right knee in towards the chest, interlacing the fingers behind the thigh, and then relax the left knee out. Left toes towards the shin. Big breaths here. And then releasing the right leg, and then bringing the left foot down onto the mat. Bringing your feet close to your seat, hip width distance apart, coming into bridge pose. We're going to bring the elbows hugged in close to us. Elbows at a 90-degree angle, palms facing each other. And then press through the heels to lift the pelvis up towards the ceiling, squeezing through the glutes. And then tucking the shoulders under a little bit more. You can stay here, bring your arms alongside your body on the mat, palms facing down. Press the arms into the mat to give you a little bit more leverage. Or if you have the range of motion, interlacing the fingers underneath your back. And tucking the shoulders a little bit more, feeling those bony parts of the pelvis being pulled up towards the ceiling, and then dragging the heels towards your hands. Big breaths here. Keep the thighs parallel to one another. 3 more breaths. And unlacing your hands if they're laced, coming back into robot arms with the elbows bent at 90-degree angles, palms facing each other. One more big breath in here. Exhale, slowly roll down the spine, one vertebrae at a time, with the pelvis coming down last. And then interlacing the fingers across the shins, rocking side to side. And then slowing the rocking, letting the feet fall down to the mat, the knees bent, bringing your arms out into cactus arms or into a T position at shoulder height. Pick up your pelvis and move it over to the left, and then hug the knees in together, draw them in towards the chest, and then roll over onto your right hip, coming into a supine twist. Looking up at the ceiling, or if you have it in your range of motion, looking over the left shoulder, and then you can use the right hand to anchor the left knee down if that feels good. Breathing into where you feel the tension, the restriction, the pull, and then as you exhale, allow yourself to melt. Counting 5 breaths here. When that's complete, rotating your head so you are looking up towards the ceiling if it's rotated, and then letting go of the left knee, coming back into cactus arms or T position. Engage your core as you lift the knees back up through center, plant the feet, press into the mat to bring the spine back into neutral. And then widen the feet to the long edges of the mat, and then drop the knees over to the right and to the left, windshield wipering the knees. And then slowing that down, bringing your feet again hip width distance apart, And then picking the pelvis up and shifting it over to the right, and then drawing the knees together and in towards the chest, and then rolling onto the left hip. And then looking up at the ceiling, or maybe looking over your right shoulder, and then maybe using the left hand to anchor the right knee down, taking 7 big breaths here. One more breath here. And then rotating your head back up to center if it's not there already. Releasing the right knee, coming back into cactus arms or T position. Engage the core before you lift the knees back up through center. Planting the feet, picking up the pelvis and bringing it back into the center. And then hugging the knees into the chest one more time, interlacing the fingers across the shins, maybe rocking side to side a little bit. And then coming into your final Savasana, extending the legs, letting the feet flop out to the sides, or coming into a reclined cobbler where you bring the soles of the feet together close to the groin, let the knees flop out to the sides. Arms out to the sides with the palms facing up. Take as much space as feels good for you. Shoulders tucked down the back, chin tucked to lengthen out the back of the neck. Soften your gaze or close your eyes. Allow yourself to naturally breathe, to be here in this present moment. Let your body integrate all the work that you've done. Notice the contact points between your body and the mat, the floor below you. Notice where your body's hanging on, where it's tight. What would it feel like if you let that go? Taking a big breath here. Exhale out the mouth. Wiggle your fingers and toes gently. And then bringing the soles of the feet down onto the mat. Reaching the arms up overhead. Rolling over onto one side, using your bottom arm as a pillow. Taking a breath here. Using your top arm to press yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Thank you for taking this time for you. The light in me sees the light in you. Namaste.